Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 247 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. How's it going out there? Seems like everywhere I go and the people that I'm talking to right now, they're talking about how awful things are and the state of the world is just being so bad. And I want to say this just quickly. Yes, there are things we can dwell on that make us angry and scared and depressed even. And you can focus on the stuff that makes you angry, scared, and depressed, and you would be justified to do it. But is that serving us? I mean, there's way more good going on in the world than bad. That is simply the truth. Like it or not, it is. There's more good than bad. The bad just gets magnified because it confirms a narrative. Don't fall for that. Focus on what's good. What you focus on is what you get more of. And this is not sticking your head in the sand. It's actually pulling your head out of the sand. I just had that visual of like my head being pulled out of the sand. And if you would do that for a while, you would see how much easier it is to breathe when you're able to notice that life, while there are hard aspects to it, of course, it can be really, really good, and nothing external has to change for that to be that way except for your focus. So be really intentional about what you allow into your mind, please. Thank you for allowing me that rant. Okay, so Eric and I are super happy to be traveling again. People all over the world, they're just so lovely and beautiful. And we had the best time in Belize. It's a really lovely place. Now, while we were there, we went scuba diving. Now, we got to see lots of different creatures and the coral and fish and eel and all these fun things. But as we started diving deeper, there was this 6-foot nurse shark, and he just kept swimming along with us. There were about 5 divers and the dive master, and then he had another guy with him. But at first I was like, why is this huge shark just hanging out with us? I mean, we've seen sharks diving before, but they usually don't just hang with you the whole time. Well, we very quickly found out why he was hanging out with us. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about the lionfish invasion in the Caribbean. They're not native to the Caribbean, but they were somehow brought in. There's different theories on how they got there, but one female can produce 2 million eggs a year. It's kind of insane. So they're really invasive. It's a big problem, and they're damaging the reef. Now, I'm telling you this so that you aren't as traumatized by my story that I'm about to tell as I was by it actually happening. So they encourage the divers to kill the lionfish whenever they can. Now, our master diver was unusually good at it. So he would spear the lionfish and then feed them to the sharks. Now, if you don't know what a lionfish is, look up a picture of it, because I will not soon forget the image of this gigantic shark swimming around with half a lionfish hanging out of its mouth. So every time the master diver would see a lionfish, they would spear it. And the shark would just be right there waiting for it. And the eels too. And at one point, I was starting to kind of feel sorry for the lionfish in a way. Now, this is before I did a little more research. But we had already watched like 10 or 15 lionfish get murdered. So I'm swimming along and I see this lionfish that the master diver hadn't seen. And I look over at my husband and I point towards it. And he holds his finger up to his mouth like, shh. So we let that lionfish live to see another day. But my point is, the shark can't really catch the lionfish. I mean, they don't really recognize it as a source of food because it's not native. And they're quick and they get in the reef and the rocks. But the shark know that when the divers come along, it's gonna be an easy meal. They know all they have to do is just swim along and they'll have food handed directly into their mouth. Lots of it. Now, in my mind, I wondered if those sharks had come to rely on this food or if it was just like a tasty snack in between their other meals. Like my mom used to say, don't start feeding the birds in your yard if you don't intend to continue feeding, because they'll rely on it. So if those sharks start to rely on the divers for their source of food, I mean, they could be in big trouble when it stops, and it will stop at some point. So the easy meal isn't so great long term. Now, if you're like me, I would like for most things to come easily. In fact, if they aren't easy, sometimes in the past I would chuck it off as, well, they're not meant to be. Or maybe even quit because it just got too hard. Now, I'd like for my marketing and sales to be easy. I would love it if my fitness and nutrition were easy. And let's not even get started on relationships. Who doesn't want those to be easy? But have we fallen into the trap of what's easy? Are we settling for short-term gains at the expense of long-term vitality? I read a blog post this last week by Train Ugly. That was actually the name of the blog, Train Ugly. But they were talking about the difference between easy and better. It's easier to eat out. It's better to cook at home. It's easier to do it how it's always been done. It's better to stretch and challenge ourselves. It's easier to talk about goals, but it's better to get in the game and take action, even when you know you can fail. I mean, we all desire certainty. It's one of our 6 human needs. But another human need is uncertainty, or better said, variety. I mean, being certain, it's comfortable. Being comfortable isn't better. It's just familiar. It's easy. And we think we want easy, but as you know, probably that gets boring. And the easy path is what most people follow, though. That's the path that's well worn. The path where things are laid out, where we're certain of what's coming next. But that path can become a rut. Have you ever been in a rut, like literally in a rut while you're driving on the road? I mean, to get out of it, your car, you have to swerve and you bounce a bit. And you could even kind of lose control when you're getting out of that rut. It's uncomfortable. But once you get out of it and you're on the other side of it, it's smooth sailing. Now, you could stay in that rut and not experience the discomfort of getting out of it, but then you're only headed in one direction, wherever that rut's heading. And when you get out of it, you can go in any different direction you want. A lot of good things in life happen just on the other side of a rut. There's the easy path in life where we can be hand-fed everything, just like that shark being fed the lionfish. But is that good for us long term? Now, my guess is that the lionfish is just an easy snack in between that shark's other meals. And that's okay. It's okay for us too. We can take the low-hanging fruit, no problem. Just make sure we're not settling only for things that come easy. Now, the fact that you're listening and you continue to listen tells me that you're probably already good at a lot of things. You have a lot headed in the right direction in your life, but so did that shark. And then along comes the easy meal of hand-fed lionfish. How easy would it be for him to just coast and be hand-fed every day? We all know that's not what's best for him long term. Well, it's the same thing for us. There are a lot of things to distract us from excellence right now. I mean, society tells us it's okay to be average, for goodness sake. We can easily fall into the easy path too. We can say, well, this is good enough. But how does that leave room for excellence? My challenge to you this week is to look at the 5 most important areas of your life: your relationship, career, finances, physical health, and mental health. And ask yourself, how often am I settling for what's easy in those areas? And where do I need to shake things up? Where can I choose what's better instead of what's easy or just simply good enough? Share this episode with 3 people. And if you haven't already, go give me a 5-star review if you're loving the episodes. And if you want to chat with me more about how to up-level those 5 areas of your life, sign up for a coaching session for me or another life coach of your choice, just whatever. But you can do that by emailing me at heidi@heididawson.com. I'd love to talk to you. Or simply visit my website at heididawson.com. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.